is up, everybody? I'm Star-Lord, and welcome to the channel, guys. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I'm actually having a pretty awesome day. I feel a little bit tiny sick, so if my voice kind of does crack or something like that, just know I apologize. I'm just feeling a little bit rough around the edges right now. But anyway, I hope that you guys are fine and that you're feeling well. It's nearly Christmas time, which is great. And yeah, I also wanted to say that the Robux giveaway is going to be a go. I am going to be doing a Robux giveaway, guys. And you should hear more information about that in, I would say, around about the end of the month. I would say it's around about the end of the month. I will update you guys on how you actually participate in it and all of that kind of jazz, so you know. But anyway, before we get into today's video, guys, I hope that you do enjoy it, and if you do, remember to leave a like, as it just kind of helps me out, helps my channel out. I'm trying to grow as a YouTuber, and you guys are the people behind my community. You guys help me do so, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. You're brilliant. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about something that has been on my mind for around about like the last 2 weeks, and that is shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Brick Bronze. Now, of course, a lot of you guys who are really into Pokemon Brick Bronze will know that shadow Pokemon are actually a thing. You know, there are shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Brick Bronze, such as, you know, Shadow Ho-Oh, Shadow Lugia. I'm pretty sure there's a Shadow Mew and a Shadow Mewtwo also. I'm pretty sure that they are in the game sprites, so yeah. Now, what I actually kind of want to talk about is my top 5 shadow Pokemon that I would love to see actually released to the public in Pokemon Brick Bronze. Now, first off, a lot of people will firstly say, you know, they can't do shadow Pokemon because the other Pokemon Roblox game, I forget its name, I've never played it, but they did like auras and stuff like that. And fair dues, you know, they did auras, and in my personal experience, the person who made that game kinda ruined that game because it was so easy to get different types of auras and everything like that, and he just kind of went over the top on how many you could get. And personally for me, that ruined the game. You know, when you give people too much to achieve, a lot of people kind of get bored of it in the end. But for a game like Pokemon Brick Bronze, you know, they've been very strict on this kind of stuff, and you know, they actually did 1 or 2 things such as the Magikarp pond, and you know, they actually made it so that you could catch different types of Magikarp, and they only gave around about, what, I'd say like 20 or so, maybe a little bit less, and that was okay. I thought, you know what, that is really good, you know, because they only gave a couple of Pokemon to catch, and that was doable, and they didn't go over the top. Now, as I said in a couple of videos ago, now that Marshadow has actually been released to the public, I thought that it would be kind of cool to do like some kind of shadow event in Pokemon Brick Bronze, where, you know, there are types of shadow Pokemon that you can actually collect and capture. And you know, the whole reason for this is because of Marshadow. I would say like some kind of story integration where Marshadow messes something up in the universe, and you know, for a limited time, or at least for something, you could actually catch a couple of shadow Pokemon. Now, I don't know exactly how they would implement this, but you know, the people over at Pokemon Brick Bronze are really smart, and they would definitely be able to do this, guys. But anyway, like I said, I actually kind of just wanted to go over my top 5 shadow Pokemon that I would love to see in Pokemon Brick Bronze if they ever did actually release them to the public. Which I really hope they would in the future, because it would give people like a reason to come back and play a little bit more. And you know, shadow variants of Pokemon isn't completely out of question. You know, fair dues, I don't want them to start doing like American flag versions of Pokemon like that other Pokemon game did. That would just be ruining the game. But shadow Pokemon are actually a plausible thing in the Pokemon universe. You know, there are actually existences? Is that a word? They are. Shadow Pokemon exist. That's what I'm trying to say. Shadow Pokemon do exist in Pokemon. So anyway, without further ado, guys, I'm going to go over my top 5 Pokemon. So first off, joining in at number 1, I would actually like to say that yes, Lugia is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. It's one of them, guys. But Shadow Lugia is absolutely amazing, and this is one of the only like kind of most original shadow Pokemon, I would say. It was actually introduced in Gale of Darkness on the GameCube. I never got to play that game, but Shadow Lugia was actually an obtainable Pokemon as far as I believe. And yeah, it just looks awesome. It looks so good. I don't know exactly why they went with the Shadow Lugia. I don't know the story behind why, like, Game Freak or Nintendo decided to do this. But, yeah, I'm glad they did, because this Pokemon looks magnificent. And I love the kind of shadow blend, too. Like, the colors that shadow Pokemon have, it's always like a whitey gray looking color, a dark purple, kind of going into a light purple, and then also red eyes. And that's kind of like what shadow Pokemon look like. So, joining in on number 2, I actually created a Pokemon in Photoshop and actually made a shadow variant of it. I'm sorry if it doesn't look that great, I do apologize, but the next Pokemon I would love to see a shadow version of, for no particular reason other than I love this Pokemon and it looks so cool, is a Shadow Vaporeon. So as you can see right there, I kind of did the dark purple with the normal purple, and then the red eyes and the kind of grey around the ears, or the dark kind of darky grey, I guess. For dudes, I don't actually have any explanation for why I want to see a Shadow Vaporeon, because a shiny Vaporeon is kind of like a pinky color anyway. But personally, this is probably one of my favorite evolutions, personally, and I would just love to see a Vaporeon like this. I just thought it would be so awesome to see this in the game. I know I could have went with any kind of legendaries or blah, 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 but you know, I have to kind of sometimes say, okay, let's go with a normal Pokemon and kind of show people what it looks like as a normal Pokemon. So Vaporeon, I would absolutely love to see as a shadow variant. Moving on, I do also have one that I created again. It is a Shadow Metagross. Personally, I've never really been a fan of this Pokemon. I never use it in PvP. I don't even think I've owned one on Pokemon Brick Bronze before. But when I kind of tried out these colors with Metagross, I was like, damn, that looks sick. That actually looks so cool. And I know a lot of people like Metagross too. I just guess the kind of gray silver, the red eyes, and the purple just go really perfect with this Pokemon. So that's kind of why I would love to see it as a shadow variant. Moving on, one of my favorite, or actually my favorite mythical of all time is Mew. There you go, guys. Shadow Mew. I actually created this. It doesn't look the best. It looks a little bit too light to be a shadow Pokemon, personally. I should have made it a little bit darker. But I think that looks pretty sweet, in my opinion. I like it. I may even like that a little bit more than Rainbow Mew. I would love to just have that Pokemon. I would love to just have that Pokemon. To be the only person with a Shadow Mew or something would be so cool. I would absolutely love it. I think that'd be so cool. But I love this Pokemon, especially like, do you know what, actually, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, would you be able to get shiny Shadow Pokemon? I don't know if that would ruin it too much. I think it would. Yeah, because you can't get a shiny Crystal Onix, you know? So yeah, I don't think that's a really good thing to do. Maybe just stick to Shadow Pokemon, but in my opinion, a Shadow Mew would be so sick. It really would. And then last but not least is actually a real life kind of Pokemon, one of the newer Shadow Pokemon to actually be introduced into the gaming universe, and that is Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo has, for my knowledge, been around for a little while, since Pokken Tournament, and they introduced the newer versions of it in the Switch version, such as like Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y. Or is it just Mewtwo X? I think it's just Shadow Mewtwo X. But what you're seeing on screen right now is actually Shadow Mewtwo X. And I don't know exactly why they decided to change the shadow look of him. Because, you know, like we were talking about, normally Shadow Pokemon are purple with a kind of grey color and red eyes. But in fact, this right here shows that Shadow Pokemon don't have to look like that. Shadow Pokemon can look extremely different, and this certainly is a very unique kind of look. I mean, I love the way Mewtwo still has his blue eyes and everything like that. I'm loving the way he has these like glowy orange. Shut up, phone! Jesus Christ, can you not give me a second? But I'm kind of loving how all of this kind of looks, personally. I didn't really think that orange and black would kind of go that well for a Shadow Pokemon. But surprisingly, I really like it, and I would actually be okay with this being in Pokemon Brick Bronze. And personally, I think they can do it. This is such a simple Pokemon to make in Pokemon Brick Bronze. And considering that this has already been done in Pokken Tournament, and it does exist as an actual real-life Pokemon, I do not see any reason why Lando and, T-Brad should say, hey, you know what, as like a special Pokemon, why don't we release a Shadow Mewtwo as like an event or something like that? Because, you know, it's kind of like Crystal Onyx. Crystal Onyx existed in the Pokemon series on television and everything like that. And, you know, this one exists in the gaming universe. So I would really like to see them add this into the game. I know they could definitely do it, and I would absolutely love to see it. But without a doubt, Shadow Mewtwo is... If any Shadow Pokemon ever gets released to the public, I would say that Shadow Mewtwo is our most likely bet. Because, you know, it is a real-life Pokemon and stuff like that, and I just kind of don't see why they wouldn't add it in. It's such a cool Pokemon. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I thought someone was at my door, but they wasn't. So like I was saying, this could actually work really well, and maybe they should make it where it's only like a Mega Evolution that turns it into a Shadow Pokemon or something like that. So for example, they could create their own new Mega Stone called a Shadow Mewtwoinite X, and when you actually use it, it would, instead of putting you as a normal Mewtwo X, it could make you a Shadow Mewtwo X. I think that would be very plausible in my opinion. I think that would actually work really well, and it wouldn't break the lore, and, you know, obviously there would not be any like big huge thing about having it. It would just be kind of like a new costume, I guess, for Mewtwo. But guys, personally, I just kind of want to see what your favorite like Shadow Pokemon, or who your Shadow Pokemon is that you would love to see added to the game. So just make a list down below in the comment section below, 5 Pokemon that you would love to see as a Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Brick Bronze. And yeah, just kind of hope that this will one day happen in Pokemon Brick Bronze. It would be so cool. But anyway, thank you very much for watching today's video, guys. I do hope that you have a fantastic day, and yeah, until next time, I've been Star-Lord. Oh, see ya!